Welcome to Maths for All. I'm Aisling Flynn. This is measure 1.1, Pythagoras Theorem. This is Pythagoras Theorem, and a theorem is what we consider to be a rule in maths. We accept it as being true because it has been proven many times by logical arguments. So Pythagoras Theorem says, in a right-angled triangle, such like the one in the picture, the square of the hypotenuse is the sum of the squares of the other two sides. So there are three sides in the triangle. One is called the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is the longest side, which is opposite the 90-degree angle. A right angle measures 90 degrees. So it is there you see where the horizontal line meets the vertical line. That makes 90 degrees. And it means we have a right angle triangle, and the hypotenuse in a right angle triangle is the side that is opposite or across from or not touching the 90 degrees angle. And you can see that it is also the longest side of the triangle. Okay. And it's important to note that Pythagoras' theorem only works for right-angled triangles. So if you have other triangles that don't have a 90-degree angle, it will not work. So the theorem itself, we've said it in words, and we can say it in maths language over here. So we've named the other two sides A and B. They're the two sides that touch the 90 degrees angle. Okay, they're called legs here. Okay, so they make the 90-degree angles. So A squared, that means you multiply the measurement of A by itself, plus B squared, so that number squared. When you add them together, you should get the same answer as C squared, where C is the length of the hypotenuse, the longest line. So let's do an example to show this. The question asks you to use Pythagoras' theorem to find the length of the missing side. Okay, so let's first start, and you should always start by writing down Pythagoras' theorem. Okay, I would also, for the examiner, if you're not supplied with one, draw a diagram of the triangle. So let's look at this triangle here. We've got 90 degrees in the corner, and we've got 3 and 4 touching it or being the legs of that angle. So 3 and 4 are A and B. Doesn't matter which one is A or which one is B. And the missing side in this question is the hypotenuse. It is C, and it's the longest side also. So that's A. 3 is A, 4 is B, and what we're looking for is C. Okay, so let's do the maths. So use all you know about substitution and evaluation and solving linear equations to answer this. So first comes substitution. So instead of A, you write 3. So 3 squared plus, instead of B, you have 4 squared, equals to C squared. We don't know C, that's what we must solve. Okay, on the next line, we're going to square those numbers. So BIMDAS always applies, squaring before adding. So we get 9 plus 16 equals C squared. And when you add those, you get 25 equals C squared. Okay, so at this stage, you have to ask yourself, which number, when you multiply it by itself, gives you 25? So you can say that 5 squared equals C squared. Okay, so clearly our answer is going to be 5. Or if you had a more tricky number, you would say that C is equal to the square root of 25. Okay, where the calculator will find the number that was multiplied by itself to give 25. Okay, and that's called getting the square root. Which number, when you multiply it by itself, gives 25? And of course, the answer there is 5. Okay, so you can rewind there and go back through that if you wish, or pause it and look at it. Another example. Use Pythagoras' theorem to find the length of the missing side. So let's look at these sides. We'll write down our Pythagoras theorem first, and now we must decide what's A, B, and C. So A and B are the legs of the right angle, so touching the right angle, and you can see this time that we do know the hypotenuse, the longest side opposite 90 degrees. We do know that C is 25. We have B is 24 and A is we don't know. That's what we're trying to solve. Okay, so let's substitute. So A we don't know, A squared plus 24 squared, substituting for B, equals 25 squared, substituting for C. Okay, the next step is to square those numbers. So use your calculator. And now we're going to solve for A. Okay, so taking 576 from both sides will give you the result here. A squared equals 625 minus 576. Do that subtraction and we get A squared equals 49. Okay, and that means that the number A is equal to the square root of 49, or A is equal to the number, whatever number when you multiply it by itself gives you 49, and we know that that is 7, so A equals 7. Okay, so now you've had one example to find the hypotenuse, one example to find a different side that's not the hypotenuse. Okay, and let's look at one more example. Use Pythagoras' theorem to find the length of the missing side. What do you think is A, B, and C? No, you can't do it with this triangle. Why not? This is not a right angled triangle, so you cannot use Pythagoras' theorem. It will not give you a correct answer. You must go to what you know about trigonometry to answer this one, and in fact, you need more information. We don't have enough information here on this triangle to do it either. Okay, so that's Pythagoras' theorem. Check that you've got the lesson by doing your quiz and practice by doing the written exercises. Here's a glossary.